thing, man. The topic tonight, man, I want to talk about hostage situations in relationships.
Ooh.
Hostage situations, right? You know, when I say hostage situation, I mean like when somebody basically is got you on hold, seems like you can't move forward, you can't move on, you can't break out the situation. It's just always, you know, we talk about strongholds, but this is more just like a person being manipulative. The person that's really like, you know, in what they call it when you are in a hostage situation, you negotiate.
Right.
All of these things to try to find a way for you to not be able to move on, not be able to spread your wings and fly beyond that person. And so, you know, I wanted to talk about it tonight because I feel like it's a lot of people that have these. Man, listen, I know so many guys that feel like, hey, man, listen, I'm only in it for the kids, Clarence. I'm only here because of this. Or, you know, I know the type of woman I chose to marry, and all of a sudden now if I do decide to divorce, hey, all of this going to be taken. She going to for sure go for my neck. She coming for half of everything. Half. You know, and then you got and then you got the women on the other end that we mentioned. We do topics about the pacifier ring and the dudes that say, "Hey, listen, baby, please, I don't want to lose you. Here, take this. Give me a little bit of time."
Can anybody admit that you was with somebody and you kind of was like, I hate to say it, how some people say they're in between jobs. You just with them, figuring out what stage you in.
Right, like you in between. You physically there. But mentally, you kind of like, I'm trying to...
Like you almost with the dude, are you with the girl till you figure out your next move?
Yeah, it's like you in between.
Let's just go talk about it now. Come on now. Before we get in these hostage situations, let's talk about... Before we get in there, and I'm saying this because I'm thinking this how they ultimately start is because people get in situations and it's like, I know I need, you know, some, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of kicking with you until we figure out what's next.
Until I figure out what's next.
Yeah, till I figure out what I want to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real now. Because the manipulation starts now. This is what I'm trying to say. That's right when you're like, hey, you know, I'm just kind of, you know. That means you could be, I want to know, have you been in a relationship with a man or a woman and you really didn't have no next move? You just was kind of, I don't want to say the word yet, but you with them till you figure out your next move. Because I know what it's leading. That's all I'm saying. This is where the manipulation starts.
And it's funny, man. You know, we as men, we get blamed a lot for this because a lot of women feel like, hey, listen, you wasn't really invested. You didn't really care. Right. Especially when things go south. When they go left, then it's all of a sudden, it's really like we're talking about, hey, a lot of the onus goes on the man. There's very few, if any, situation you can tell me if it's right for you.
Right.
Well, I was just completely around. Like, where was my head at? Like, you know what? I had a good man, and even though he wasn't perfect, but he tried, and you know, because I've heard women say after they leave their husband for whatever reason, it could be cheating, it could be whatever, and she say, hey, I'm out, I'm not going for it, and then you see what's out there. When people are already on the outside, they're saying, hey man, listen, you ain't nothing out here, ain't nothing. And so when she get out there, then it's almost like, hey man, listen, regardless of the mistake he made, I felt like I never met a guy as good as him.
Oh yeah, be way after the fact. Yeah, be way after the fact.
You know, so that's why, I mean, it's not to talk. Now, I don't know about it, but it is to say, hey, listen, in certain situations where a person do feel like in the moment, I gotta make a point to say this is a zero tolerance policy. Right. But even in that, you find yourself regretting the mistake.
Right.